So this is an AWS host on which I have downloaded and built Vitess. I have also set up the Vitess environment on this host. As you can see, all of it is there. I have cloned 3 more AWS hosts using the home volume from this host. And the 4 hosts, this one and the 3 other ones, are listed in the file um, home ubuntu bin host list. You can see those here. We are going to use this file to specify hosts when we deploy. The names of the hosts are public host names. Those host names can be accessed from outside AWS. We do this because we want to be able to access these hosts from a browser. Now, we will start out by cloning the deployment helper tool from jvaidyavitas. Deployment helper is a tool that helps you configure a Vitess cluster. It also has a demo mode where it configures an initial cluster for you and walks you through a resharding demo. This is the demo that we are going to run today. We will configure a cluster on the 4 hosts that I showed you in that file, and initially we will start with 2 shards and then reshard it into 4 shards. Now most of you will want to run this demo on one host and do a 1 shard to 2 shard resharding, which is of course perfectly fine and it will all work correctly. And in that case, you just have to accept the default prompts from deployment helper. Now, of the 4 hosts, we will distribute Zookeeper on 3 hosts. We will run vtctld and vtget for the whole cluster on this host, and we will distribute the VT tablets on all 4 hosts. Deployment helper also does the VT tablet distribution for you. The demo runs deployment helper.py in generate mode and then runs the generated scripts. So here is the usage for deployment helper. This is what a deployment helper tool can do for you. We are just going to run the demo today. So let's start the demo. First we started by specifying with the name of the cell, cell 1. Then we have to choose what kind of a log server we want to use. Vitess supports both ZK2 and etcd. This demo though and deployment helper at the moment only supports ZK2. We will select ZK2. Now the default shown for the host is this current host, but what we will do is now we will specify the file in which we have the 4 hosts specified, so that we are distributing our ZK2 on 3 hosts out of those 4. Now you will see that instance 1 is being run on each of the instances, as you can see, is being run on 3 different hosts, and the ports are also given, so we just accept the defaults. Now the vtctld, we don't want it to be distributed. We just specify this particular host, which is 219. So we just hit enter here. Similarly, vtget we want to run on the same host, so we run here. VT tablet, again, we will copy and paste the same file here so that the VT tablets get distributed all across. Now is the place where we can configure shards. So currently there are no shards configured. We will add new shards. How many shards do we want to add? The default is 1, but let's add 2 shards because we are going to do a 2 shard initially to a 4 shard resharding demo. So you say 2. The deployment helper actually generates the names of the shards for you, so you just accept the default. Then for the first shard, it asks you how many replicas you want, how many read-only you want. The second shard, we just keep accepting. And now I would like to point out these important things to you. The distributed 10 tablets, so you can see that each shard has 5 tablets, so total of 10 tablets, and deployment helper has distributed those 10 tablets across 4 hosts for you, and the hosts will be presented to you as defaults. So you can see as you go how the various cells of various types are distributed across the 4 hosts in a way so that the masters and replicas and read-only are as diversely distributed as possible. So you just more or less accept the defaults. Then it asks you for the various setup of the various users and various database configuration, connection types. So the privileges and then the permissions that you want to grant for the various roles, VT replica, VT filtered, so on and so forth. Char set, we use VT, we use UTF-8. The database name, VT underscore cell1 underscore keyspace, and generate deployment helper has generated all these scripts for you based on your inputs. So this is the generate mode. And now the demo will start the cluster using these generated scripts for you. So we will see that. First, it wants to bring Zookeeper up. We say yes. And as we configure it, those 3 Zookeeper instances will run on 3 different hosts, and zkapp.sh actually does that for you. Similarly, the vtctld, you bring it up, and this is brought up on this host, and we will take this URL, and we will go here, and we will actually look to see the VTS control panel has come up. There are no key spaces right now. This will change as we go. Now we will bring the VT tablets up. Again, the various VT tablets are distributed across 4 hosts, and they will be correctly started on all 4 hosts as you go. And you can see that it's first starting the tablets for shard -80. Now if we go here, and if we look at the dashboard, soon we will start seeing the tablets. So you can see that each of these tablets is being started correctly on a different host, and you can see that for every tablet a separate start script was generated in a subdirectory for the host name. For example, VT tablet up instance 101.sh, 102.sh, so on and so forth. So each instance, a separate shell script has been generated, and that's the shell script that is being started. So this will start a total of 10 tablets for you for 2 shards. So you can see that now let's see whether we can see all of these here. Yeah, you can see that there are cell1 key spaces or key space, there are 2 shards, there is -80, there is no master so far, there is 80, there is no master so far. Now we will go ahead and specify the first replica as a master. You can see that this is the command that we will run, init shard master. So we do that. Similarly, now we do that for the shard 80. And now if we again go back here, we will see that the first one is the master. We go here, the second one is the master. So similarly, this is the you can use VTCTL client to query all tablets for cell 1 from the VTCTLD, and you will see the same output here. Now we are going to apply the schema to all tablets in the key space, and it's going to come from this file in examples local. We are going to apply the schema. Okay, the schema has been applied. Similarly, we will take a backup. This is for the first shard. This is for the second shard. So 102 and 202, we can look at status for that, and it's healthy. Schema, current schema queries. I think there was a anyway. So that's now we will list the backups, and then now we will apply the schema vschema to this. So vschema has been applied, and now we will bring up vtgate, and we inserted rows, and these are all the tablets. The VTCTLD is up here, vtgate is up here. We can look at the vtgate output if we want. You can see the various things. You can see the health check. We will go back to the VTCTLD. So now that we have the first two shards up, we are going to run the resharding workflow, and we are going to reshard them into 4 shards. So we say yes to the demo sharding workflow now. Now we are going to run the deployment helper again with the action generate and component VT table, and actually this prompt is not correct. We have to enter 4. So if we run this command, yes, cell is still remains the same. We are going to because if you look at the command line options for generate, there was one option called use config without prompt. So if a config was found, like for example it found the log server JSON config from last time, so it just used that without prompting. It found zk2.json, so it used it without prompting. Similarly for VTCTLD. And now it has come to a place where we need to add more tablets for new shard for VT tablet. So it again asks us to specify hosts. So it shows you a currently configured hosts, and now this host is already there in the currently configured host. So if we just accept it, it will realize that it's there, and it will just use one set out of it. Now we will gather information for shards. Now we need to add new shards. So the current shards are 80 and -80. We have to enter the number of new shards. We enter 4. It generated the shard names for you, and again it will ask you how many replicas and how many read-only, and we say for each of them 2 and 2 for replica and read-only, and 1 master. So there are 20 total tablets, and again those 20 they will be distributed across the 4 hosts that we have set up. And now it will ask us give those as defaults and ask us to enter, we will accept all the defaults and let use all the ones that have been distributed by deployment helper. So it generated VD tablet up.sh and VD tablet down.sh, and in between it also generates up and down scripts for each shard. And so you can now see here what is being run. The first time is the VT tablet up shard for the -40 shard. So it will start those 5 tablets first, distributed on all different hosts. Then it will prompt you to, if you want to run the up shard script for the next shard. Yep, the next one is -40-80, the 40 to 80, and yes, we will run those five. Those 5 tablets will be started. So on and so forth. It will start all 20 tablets. Now if we go back here and if you look at the shards, we can see that the original 2 shards are there and there are 2 non-serving shards. Okay, the second shard is done. Now we will start the third shard, which is the 82C0. So it's starting the tablets for the third shard. Now I would like to point out to you that some of these tablets are being started on this host, and as you can see, it says that that command is being run locally, versus most of the commands which are being run remotely on specific hosts. So now if we go here, we should see three non-serving shards. The 80C0 shard is coming up. Okay, this has come up, and now the final shard, we will bring that up. That's the C0 dash shard. And after the demo, you can go and you can look at all these scripts, which will show you what is happening under the hood. So it creates a hierarchy of scripts. There's a VT tablet up.sh which starts all shards. Then it calls the up shard for every shard. Then for every shard there is a script that calls each tablet. So there is a hierarchy, 3 deep hierarchy of scripts. And the final, the scripts that start shards are actually saved in a subdirectory with the name of the host, as you can see here. This has a subdirectory with the name of the host in it, into it. So okay, so all have been started. So if you look at this, 2 shards plus these 4 are not serving. So now we will see the same thing by doing a list tablets. All of them are not serving. Now we will initialize by electing the first master for each of the new shards. Okay, so we will start out by for the key space -40. So then the 4080, then the 80C0, then C0 dash. So now we have selected masters for all 4 of them, and if we do a list tablets, we should be able to see a master for each of the shards. Similarly, if we go here and choose any one of them, we can see that the first one is the master. So okay, we have selected the master. Now what we are going to do is to copy the schema from the old shard, which was shard dash 80, the first shard, to the one of the first of the new shards. So we are copying the schema now. We'll copy the schema to the second shard. But before we copy the schema and apply the V schema, these tablets are basically completely empty. They're tabula rasa, and it's only after we copy the schema and copy the V schema that they know what they're for. So we have now copied schema for all 4 shards. You can go up here and you can actually now look at the schema for yeah, 4080 for example. You can see the schema here. Now what we are going to do is oh, by the way, uh, these error messages, you can ignore them. Fail to reload schema, etc. That's a warning, it's not an error, and the command still succeeds even if this warning is given. Now what we are going to do is we are going to call split clone on cell 1 key space dash 80, and the dash 80 is covered by the first two of the new shards, so we don't need to give it target shards. It actually, we did have it, that's figured out by Vitess. So we just hit the enter, and what it's going to do is to take the dash 80, and this succeeded. It processed 9 rows, so it took those 9 rows and it copied it into the first 2 shards. Now we will do the same thing for the second of the old shard, and it will be copied into the third and fourth shard. So this was the second one had only 3 rows, and those got copied. Now let's add 6. So now what has been set up is that the initial rows have been copied and a replication has been set up from the old shards to the new shards. So if you add anything to the old shards, those rows will also show up in the new shards. So we will see this. So we added a few rows. Now we are going to fetch them from the original shard set. So there were 10 and 8, 18. Okay, so you can see that the first shard had 10 rows, the second shard had 8. It's a total of 18. And now we should see that the 4 shards in the new shard set, if you total up the rows in them, that should come to 18. We'll see if that is the case. 3 in first, 7 in, so 3 plus 7, 10 plus 3, 13, plus 5, 18. Great, so they're all there. So now as a part of the resharding workflow, we run this command called split diff on the first shard, first of the new shards. It runs everything, and you can see the various checks that it is doing, and it succeeded. Now for the second shard, succeeded. Third shard, succeeded. Fourth shard, succeeded. Fantastic. Now we are ready to switch over to serving from the new shards, because so what we are going to do is that we are going to use this command called migrate serve types for the 3 different types of tablets on each of the older shards. So shard dash 80 read-only type tablets, we are going to migrate serve types to the new shards. Similarly for replica. Now this process is, you can undo this process anytime until you have switched the master. Once the master is switched, you cannot undo it, because the new rows which are are going to go into the master, and they are not actually going into the old master now. So the first shard is done, the second shard is read only and is done, replica is being run. And the master has been switched, so everything is switched. So again, we will do the similar test to what we did last time. We will add 6 rows to the database, but now they will only go into the 4 new shards, and the 2 old shards will not get them. So there should be a discrepancy of 6 rows between the old and the new. So we add these 6 rows. Now let's see what's going on. The old ones for the for the 80 and dash 80, there are 18 rows total, and the new ones 5 plus 7 12 plus 4 16 plus 8 24. So you can see that there is a discrepancy of 6 rows. There are 6 extra rows in the new 4 shards compared to the 2 old shards. So you can see that all the traffic is now going to the new shards. Now we can down the 2 old shards. The first we will down the dash 80 shards. So all 5 tablets associated with the old shard dash 80 will come down now. While this is happening, let's go back here. Now if you look at this now, there are 4 shards that are serving and 2 are non-serving, as it should be. Now we have brought down the tablets for the first shard. Now we will bring down the tablets for the second shard. Now we will deregister or delete shard the dash 80 shard, and if we look here, we will probably see that only that one has disappeared, only one is remaining now. Now we will delete that one also, and you can see that this is fully gone. Only 4 serving shards are here, and the old shards have disappeared. So the sharding is now complete, and that completes our demo for today. Here is where uh, deployment helper generates its various files. Vitess deployment in bin and config. In config, if you look at it, has various JSON files in which it has recorded the input that you gave it, and it also generated the initdb.sql file, which is applied to all the new databases that are created when tablets are created. This was also using the permissions, etc., that were taken as input. And then there is the bin file, bin directory, and this has a shard level up and down files, top level up and down files, and then there are subdirectories for each host, in which you have tablet level and instance level files, like you can see zk up and down files and tablet instance up and down files, etc. So this is the demo of the Vitess Tools deployment helper. I hope you found it useful. Thank you.